What happens when millions of newcomers are suddenly moving into towns and cities? Globally, 84 million people are displaced today, and most people are actually living close to their countries of origin, or indeed still within these. In Turkey, there are 3.7 million Syrian refugees enjoying temporary protection status at the moment. The majority live in urban and in peri-urban areas. This has put important additional pressure on an existing shortage of affordable housing. And in the last few years we've had COVID-19 that has generated an economic crisis which has put further pressure on both low-income Turkish citizens as well as Syrian refugees. In this project we've looked at the phenomenon around informal housing, and we find that to be a critical response to this new inflow of people. Informal housing is nothing new in Turkey. There's a long history of informal housing, but the current dynamics are severely different. Historically, rural to urban migration has led to the generation of informal settlements, or gecekondu, that over time have upgraded and have become formalized. What we find in this research that the current dynamics are very different. We do not expect similar outcomes to result at the moment, or indeed in the coming decades. We also find that existing concepts in the ways in which academics think about informal housing, particularly the concept of incremental housing, where things are assumed to progress over time, are actually quite inappropriate in this context, and we feel has limited purchase, both due to the mobility of people, their dependence on rental markets, but also because of the political status that migrants have. And finally, I want to point out that this research points to the critical role of public policy in law across a range of domains, from urban planning, building regulations, land use regulations, to migration management. They connect and they have particular effects on how informal housing plays out, and plays out differently for low-income Turkish populations and for Syrians.